Welcome Scape Technologies, represented by the CEO, Søren Bøving. And before I hand over the word or presentation to you, Søren, I will just remind the audience that you can ask your questions in the comment field below. And with that, I will just hand over the call to you, Søren, for a presentation of approximately 20 minutes, followed by a short Q&A session in the end. So give it up for you, Søren.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you for joining. Good morning, everyone. Yes, my first slide here is including a picture of three happy sales guys at the Parcel and Post Expo in Frankfurt this October, introducing our package picker in Europe for the first time. So I just wanted to share that with you. I think that was a quite important event for us, going out with a completely new product to a new market area. So that's why I wanted to share that with you on the front page. But let's dive into a short presentation of who we are. So what we are offering at Scape are very advanced robotic automation solutions, combining robots with vision, basically. So the market area now ranges from very small SMEs to very large and demanding customers in the automotive area. And then recently we have expanded our market area into distribution and logistics with the package picker. The company was founded where we had the patent of our bin picking solution back in 2005, where it was founded at the University of Southern Denmark by our current CTO and Professor Ivar Balslev. So we have been around for some years, and we are now 23 employees in Denmark, 3 in Germany, and then we have this cooperation with in China, where we have more than 20 people now working on selling our solutions in China. So that's also quite interesting. The major shareholders is Shenzhen Scape Technologies, our partner in China, with 51% of the shares, and then René Denker, our CTO, and myself are having some shares as well, and actually are the next second biggest shareholders. Our revenues have been varying over the years. So we had a dip in revenues during Corona and the crisis in the automotive industry and so on. This year we had 5 million in revenue in the first half year, and we have a guidance for the year of revenues above 9 million. At the right side of this picture, you see some of our customers, and as you can tell, some of them are household names in the automotive industry. So I'll not go through all of these events here, but just to make some pinpoint some major events for Scape. One were that we in 2012 were able to introduce the world's first standardized bin picking solution. So it was no longer a big unforeseeable project to build a bin picker. It was standardized by Scape, standard software components, hardware components, meaning that we could actually make a price list, and there was no surprises for customers entering an agreement with us to deliver a bin picker. So that was a breakthrough for us and actually in the industry, and that resulted shortly after with the first orders from Volkswagen in Chemnitz. Later in 2018, we were listed at the stock exchange Nasdaq First North in Copenhagen, and we used that investment for making our products even easier to use, to make it easier to scale our business through partners. Unfortunately, then right after that came Corona, and that was of course a hit to us. But nevertheless, we spent the time during Corona to keep developing new products and hiring more people actually in development. So we came out of that in pretty good shape. And our focus areas now for this year and also for next year will be to scaling our sales further, probably find some more distribution partners, and keep strengthening our application areas, and always be improving the user friendliness and ease of use of the applications. So, but the whole thing started with bin picking. So we are known as the bin picking company. We have probably the best solutions at all in the market for bin picking, reliable solutions, trusted by the automotive industry. So that's where we started. So let's just look at what is actually bin picking. And bin picking is you could say the art of making placing a gripper and a camera, combining placing a gripper on a robot, combining that with a vision camera that can be on the robot or above the bin, and then pick up parts from a bin that are completely random. This is a huge task in the automotive industry, especially where they have so many parts in a car. They are coming into the factories to be picked up and placed into the production system, and we can do that and replacing manual labor by that. It seems easy, but it's actually quite a difficult task for robots, since you cannot predict on beforehand exactly where to pick up the parts, because they are randomly placed in a bin. But I think actually a way of showing it would be better. So we have a presentation, we have made a video from one of our installations at BMW in Leipzig. And if Mia, you could please show that video, then I think that will give a better impression of how things are working. Thank you. So this is from the BMW factory in Leipzig. And what we are picking up here is luggage compartment floors from a bin, which again seems pretty easy, but it's actually not that easy, because they are not always where they are expected to be in the bin. So we need to combine it with vision. We're then picking up the parts and placing them accurately in a fixture, and then they go from there into the actual production system, where they are welded together with other parts. This is one of our engineers explaining how the system is working. We see here we see the sensor above the bin, and explaining how we are actually picking up parts in a very reliable way. This is another part from the same factory, more smaller parts being picked up, and as you could tell at the brief picture, they are laying completely random in the bin, which is an even more difficult task, and to make sure that we can actually pick up the parts and also place them correctly, not only pick them up, but place them correctly. We also have a solution for that, which we are showing now in a short moment, picking up the part here, placing it on what we call a handling station, taking a new picture, and then we can make a 100% accurate grip and place them in with accuracy into a fixture or a machine. So that's very important with this reliability, and that's the reliability in our system is actually the reason why we have been able to sell our system to so many demanding customers in this difficult industry. And along the way, we are always working on making it more and more easy to work with the system, and we're also trying to consider, as been told in the video here, consider all aspects of the bin picking, not only being able to recognize the part, but also being able to grip the part with accuracy and put it in the right place, the final place with accuracy. So the reliability, the stability, the accuracy, the precision of our system, that has been actually what our brand has been standing for all the years, and what is helping us to new business areas. So that's what we are doing, and at least that has what been our main business in the past, and still is the major part of our business. But as I will come back to in a moment, we have also started looking at other things. So that was the video. So in terms of resources, we have 26 employees in Europe, primarily developers and system engineers. As mentioned, we have now invested even more resources in research and development. We have started a new young team of developers here in Denmark. We have sales and system engineers in Germany. And then we have these employees at Scape China, our partner in China, based in Shenzhen. They are primarily working with sales and implementation. We have some benefits from working with them, since we can get some hardware parts cheaper from China. That's helping us, and it's also been a big help during Corona, actually, that we had this separate business in China instead of being dependent on Europe only. But we are always working with partners as system integrators. We are not a system integrator. We are selling our software and hardware and services, typically as a sub-vendor to a major system integrator, delivering to the end customer. But from a sales perspective, we always have, at least for the last customers, we always have a direct connection to those customers as well, to make sure we know exactly what's going on, and also to strengthen our sales efforts. But even though we have a closer and closer relationship with our partner in China, we are still having all core development done in Denmark. So if we look ahead for what I would call an unpredictable 2023, we have been looking at our plans, and the only thing that is sure, because it's a very unpredictable market, is that we will keep developing, and we are keeping investing in development of new application areas. So in terms of our bin picking product family, these products are getting more and more matured. The last few years we have mainly been focusing on ease of use rather than a lot of new features, because it's already working. So we will be able to optimize resources here, maybe reduce a few resources dedicated to this area, and then dedicate these resources to other and new business areas, both in development and sales. One of them is the one I started with mentioning, the package picker. We introduced it in China. Now we have introduced it in Europe, starting pilot projects in Europe. And so that's a continued investment, and it seems to be a very, very interesting new business area for us, working with the logistics and distribution area, which has been growing tremendously over the years, and especially during Corona. So that's a very exciting area for us to enter. Our after sales and service and support is, as our customer base is growing, that's also growing. So that's a steadily growing business area for us to sell services, support, updates, and so on to existing customers. But then we have the new product area, which is definitely an investment area. So what we have decided is that we will adopt a new way of developing solutions, valuing and enabling customer co-creation. So we do the projects together with the first customers, and making sure that what we're actually developing is based on specific customer needs. Still, it will be based on making standard products, and for that we will base the new products we will be introducing on a 3D vision guidance platform, so that for all kind of solution applications where you will need to combine a robot with a 3D vision, we will have a platform for easily developing that kind of solutions. In the first phase, making it easier for our own developers, but in the second phase, it might as well be a tool that we can distribute to system developers and system integrators and maybe even customers on the long term. The first example will be actually a product we developed for our bin picking solution, 3D vision object recognition. We made that to be able to recognize with the camera where's the bin actually standing, where we need to pick up the parts. But that application we developed for the bin picking can actually be used in many application areas where you have the need for combining a robot with 3D vision, so the robot can see where is the work area, what are the parts it's going to work with, and so on. So we are actually using our experience from bin picking to combine robots and vision for new applications. We have seen a huge need for that, and we are looking very much forward to enter this new market area. Finally, we are also looking for entering being part of new EU funded development projects. We think it's important that we stay sharp and are spending at least some resources on really front-edge technology and development projects, and there's a number of EU projects that we are interested in and may join, so we can have part of our development funded that way. Then I mentioned that China a few times. That's still a very important market area for us. And if you look at the macroeconomic development in China, of course they had a hard hit from the corona, but nevertheless now we are seeing it's growing again. We're seeing they are now slowly releasing the restrictions of the corona, so we actually expect a new growth in China. Maybe not the same growth that they had years back, but certainly a growth much bigger than we have in Europe. And it's still a huge market, world's biggest robotic market, world's biggest automotive market, world's biggest distribution market, and that's all the areas where we are working. If you look at the red part here, that's actually an analysis done by McKinsey saying that China is now moving from an investment infrastructure-driven economy to an efficiency productivity-driven economy, which is very interesting for us because that's exactly the reason why there's been a demand for our solutions in Europe, because the European manufacturers has been looking for constantly being more efficient and increasing the productivity, as an example, in the automotive area. So we are now seeing the same things being repeated in China as they are maturing in the industry. So we actually believe that we have a huge opportunity here in China with our solutions as well. As an example, and this is my last slide, we actually are taking advantage of our experience from Europe and China and vice versa. An example is to the left, our package picker. As I mentioned, we have now been introducing that in Europe. That was actually a product, a project starting in China, where we saw the need for this kind of product. We did some pilot projects, we tested it, we kept developing on it, and now we are moving it to Europe. And on the other hand, we are seeing a growing number of Chinese car manufacturers moving to Europe, starting working as and competing heavily against European car manufacturers. And we can definitely use our experience from European car manufacturers to get a foothold also in the Chinese automotive industry. So that's why China keep being an interesting and very important market for us. Finally, I think time is up. Thanks for participating again, and if any questions, please let me know.
Perfect, Søren. So 20 minutes exactly. Very good. But let's start with some of the endpoints here you made. So you told us about the new packer and also your work with the Expo in Germany, and you recently announced a deep technology partnership. Is that an outcome from the the Expo, or is it like your other partnership strategy outcome? Can you elaborate on this partnership?
Yeah, no, deep technology is more a traditional partnership on the bin picking side still. We are always expanding our partner portfolio. So that's not especially on the package picker. But some of our partners, traditional partners in bin picking, are actually also interested in working with us in the package picking area.
Yeah.
And actually our Austrian partner Boost, where we have sold a number of projects together with them, actually also participated at this expo. So they might also be an important partner for that area. But we are now starting the first pilot projects in Europe, and we use the expo as both as an introduction for us, but also as you could say a learning lesson of how things are done in Europe, which partners to enter with. So it was also a matter of building network, and we had a lot of interesting leads from direct customers, but also certainly from the partners, the system integrators working in this specific area. So that was very interesting.
Cool. Okay, and then we have some questions from the audience, and starting with the macro environment and what's going on here. There's a question about, is the current macro environment a challenge or possibility with less appetite for investment versus the need for cost savings? So what do you observe right now in the market?
Yeah, that's a good question, because it's actually a very strange situation. We are extremely busy with responding to new projects, giving proposals, doing pre-projects, demos, and so on. So that's a very good sign. On the other hand, we are still seeing a hesitation in the market area where people are uncertain, at least in Europe. People are uncertain about the situation in Ukraine. Deliveries are delayed, and so on. So when to do the actual investment, making a new factory, investing in a new production line, investing in a bin picking system, we are seeing quite long decision processes. But there's lots and lots of things going on, because I think all manufacturers, they know they need to do some investment. The question is, should they do it now? Should they wait a few months, or what should they do? So that is actually what we are trying to balance. And in the meantime, we have said, okay, while we are in this situation, let's make sure we spend the time in the best possible way, building new partners and hiring developers. So we are building for the future. But on a macroeconomic level, I have no doubt that it will be a benefit, because the manufacturers will need to focus on increasing productivity and efficiency, and then they need automation. So no question that things are going in the right direction, but there are a few bumps currently on the road.
Yeah, and you also mentioned China and the pandemic and how it has affected. But can you elaborate more on this? There's a question outside from that. So have the uncertainty and the pandemic, the lockdowns, affected your sales going in, or in the second half of 2022?
So they had the specific effect that I have not been able to travel to China for a couple of years, and we have not met with our partners physically here, also for a couple of years, making things a little more difficult. But the good thing is that they have built up a sales team in China, and they are very active, and that's going very, very fast ahead. So we are very confident about our future business in China as well. During the Corona, it's true that we had troubles in Europe, and that were kind of compensated for with our sales in China, since they actually came through the first wave of Corona faster than we did, and they got up running again. So that was a big benefit for us. So I think in general it's very good for us to have a foothold in China, the world's one of the soon to be probably the world's biggest economy, and again they are the biggest on automotive. They are coming into Europe with that. They are moving very, very fast forward on robotics with the program Made in China in 2025. They are increasing on all areas. So in my opinion, if you want to grow your business, you cannot just stay out of China. You need to be there, and you need to have a strong partner there, and that's our take on that.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Søren. Time is running out, so I will thank you very much for the presentation. A pleasure to have you here